Bubba. Here, Bubba girl. Yeah, okay. No, no. Okay, there she is. I'm just feeding Cameo a couple of treats. She went to the vet this morning, and because the owies, they just got so much worse very quickly, and it's an eczema she gets. Not a lot of female cats get it after they've been fixed. Apparently more toms get it after they've been fixed. It's to do with hormone imbalance, and so had a hormone shot, and she's got to take some tablets, and yes, so she's probably going to be extra pissy for a while, aren't you, darling? But anyway, hi everyone. How you going, Princess? I had somebody ask me if I could do a COVID-19 reading for Texas, so I'm going to do that. And of course, as with the Cameo, get off the keyboard, you you silly bubba. Come on, there we go. She's not happy with me. It's not so much the vet, even though she's not too fond of the vet. She doesn't mind being put in the orange crate. She can be quiet, but she hates the car. Absolutely hates the car. Anyway, somebody asked if I could do a reading for Texas now for COVID-19, and again I'm going to use the little Kipper card for continuity and use the same layout, two layers of free. Doing it state by state is preferable for me because, you know, I think different populations, different states of preparedness. I'm going to do COVID-19, and then I think I might do Washington State as well after I do Texas. So I'm going to do Texas first, and then I'm going to do Washington State, which I hear is the hardest hit, I think. Now, from what I've read, it's mainly been in southeast Texas, the Houston area, some unease, one in Fort Bend, and some unease around the Austin area, so southeast Texas. So I'm going to have a look using the Kipper cards. Tell me about COVID-19 and Texas, the state of Texas and COVID-19. Oh, card flipped over. Work occupation. People are really working on it hard in Texas. The authorities are not sitting back on their hands in Texas about it. I'm saying, oh woe's me, who's going to get us out of it? They're really working hard towards it, towards something there. Yeah, I even saw something when I looked up Texas and COVID-19 that they're looking towards SARS, and where it can hold a bit of a key to this as well. So they're working on it. Now remember, I am going to use the little book. Hang on a moment. I just had my daily sneezing fit. I have a sneezing fit every day. So, okay. Subject, verb, adjective. We're going to do the first line first. COVID-19, subject, gaining a lot of money. Sad news. And a journey. So gaining a lot of money, it can mean a successful outcome. So that they are spending money on it in Texas, and they are looking at outcomes. This next is sad news, which is, you know, a bit of a Gowner card. Unpleasantness ranging from mild illness, such as colds and flus. So unpleasantness with the virus. So weeping and feeling sad. It also represents. So yeah, look, they are spending money. I'm sorry, I should be reading out loud, shouldn't I? They are spending money on it, and they're having. I think it's going to have a sort of successful outcome in the end. The COVID-19, it's going to take, you know, everywhere it's been, someone has died. So this is not a mild flu, as the book said, but it says ranging from mild illnesses right up to deadly confrontation. So it's a serious thing, and it's taking its toll. A journey. Number 10 is a journey. Talking about taking a trip, with regard to your career. Okay, this card may also stand for a ride on a bus or train or in a car. It may also mean that certain matter of concern is finally gaining momentum and getting a move on. Now, there's been there's been a lot of criticism about the Trump administration not moving on this quickly. I think a lot of states aren't waiting for them to improve their thing, waiting for those. I think they're spending what they can as much as they can and getting what they can done now, and not holding their breath on resources from the federal government. And in Texas, they might be, I won't say getting the upper hand, but what they're trying to do is working to an extent, and it's gaining momentum. So they're spending money on this problem, and it's a serious problem, and it's going to cause a lot of distress, but they're gaining momentum. Meetings, short illness, again that short thing, and a main person too, a main woman. Now, again, this is interesting because again we've got momentum cards and a short space of time card. Every reading I've done, from one here in WA to Oregon, the others readings, they've all come up with cards that are momentum, movement, indicating a short amount of time. That doesn't necessarily mean it's here today, gone tomorrow. It means probably not going to be years. It's probably going to be in terms of months. So let's have a look for meetings. So there are meetings. That's pretty self-explanatory. Meetings with people. People are getting together. They're talking about it. They're trying to, bring their knowledge together. Happiness and harmony, keywords of the context. Communication, giving, receiving, meeting friends and relatives, as well as socialising. In the professional area, it's about teamwork and projects, cooperation and negotiation. People are working really hard on this, and they're spending as much resources as they can on it for the Texas government, the state government. Okay, it's a bad situation. But they're gaining momentum and fighting it. The short illness, it's going to be. It's quite virulent and all that, but its impact time-wise, it's not going to be years. We're looking again at a relatively short amount of time, transitory in nature. So I read this morning that Wuhan, where it all started, they've reported for the first time for several days running no new cases, and few days ago, I was reading reports of less cases being reported daily in China. Provided that all this is correct, and looking at the possible timeline of the start of this thing happening early December, we're looking at a 3-month thing. Kirsten Langston said yesterday 90 days. So maybe we're looking at a 3-month curve. I don't know. I've read into it with one of the cards, a month to 6 months. You know, no more than 6 months. I couldn't see it going beyond 6 months. So basically 24 days to 26 weeks, anywhere in that time frame. It might hang out a little bit longer in some areas. A short illness, again, relatively and main person, a woman. Reading the cards herself. Closer to other certain cards to this one, the sooner an incident will take place. However, the further away they lie, the more doubtful it becomes. Okay, all cards at the person's back, and all the cards are at their back, at the back of this person, represent past events. This woman, she is out, she is walking, she's got a bird on her shoulder. This is very reminiscent of the 9 of Pentacles card in the tarot deck, where autonomy sitting pretty, things are relatively getting back to normal. And I think that indicates that, you know, the work that the Texas government is doing is gaining some momentum. They're meeting, they're spending lots of money, they're battling this. It is going to be around for a while, but along with the movement card and the short illness card, it's again going to be transitory, and things will come out all right. Now, I read something, there was something like eight cases in Southeast Texas as of today. Look, there are probably going to be more cases. It's generally, you know, we've been lucky here in Western Australia. We've only had 3 so far, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be any more. Handling things well, putting every resources they have, and not waiting for the federal government to come and help them. And I don't think many states are. They're going to get their state through it quicker, and I think just time will tell whether this is a 3-month time frame for this whole thing to play out in an area, you know. China, it appears to be that, but as I said, I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not a specialist. I know a little bit about it, but I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just looking at time frames of reports and what I've read and what the cards are telling me. And so look, I'll draw a couple of tarot cards on this to ask, how hard is Texas going to be hit? Is Texas going to be hit really badly? Is Texas going to be hit really badly? There's an indication that it might be a bit bad with the sad news, that the woman crying card. It could hit quite hard, I think. So, but how hard? It's quite hard. I mean, it could be doing the maths. Yeah, look, that's the 9 of Swords. That's anxiety and worry. Then the 7 of Cups. This is an interesting 7 of Cups. They're all below her. She can't see them. There's a mist there, and she's just deliberately looking away from them. Look, Texas may be hit hard with the number of cases and stuff. In terms of length of time, it's probably going to play out in no longer a length of time than anywhere else, and let's hope that it's a 3-month start to win thing. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of anxiety in Texas about it. There's going to be Um, I don't read this as the government trying to hide things. I read this, there's a lot that they're just not going to be able to find out about it, because it's such a huge mix of things. I think there's so many different contributors to this, to the genesis of this. It's hard to see through the fog. Maybe they might this woman has shelter, so they might want to shelter people, but it's, yeah, I think the temptation might be there to try and play down the numbers, but then they might a little bit, but I don't think so. I don't think that'll work if they do that. I think that would backfire. Three of Pentacles. No, this is group work, working as a group with the government, with the Texas health authorities and the community. They're going to go for that option. But there's just a lot about this that's hidden and murky, I think. But there's going to be a lot of anxiety and sad news. So I think Texas might be in for quite a few. I don't think you've seen the peak of it at the moment. I think you've still got a ways to see the peak of it. And it might be higher than hoped. But we'll just have to see and wait things out and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to... No, I won't pause it. I'll just get on. And I'm going to look at Washington State next. Now, I understand, I haven't looked at the figures or anything, that Washington State has been one of the hardest hit states. Seattle especially, extremely hard hit. So that's the tarot there that I used to ask those questions. Yeah. I'm not going to say go about and do your normal lives as if nothing's there. Always be careful and all that. But at some point you have to resume normal functioning. But take the advice that people say. If you don't have to go to areas, don't go to them. And, you know, big crowded places. If you don't have to, don't go. If you can stay close to home, if it's not a big issue, you're staying close to home, then do so for a while. And yeah, oh, cards are flying out. There's not a lot of cards in this deck, so I'll just, you know. Okay, so Seattle, Washington State, what's going to happen with COVID-19 and Washington State? You'll see the disclaimer thing I put up at the start of this. I know it might seem like telling people to suck eggs to follow those health points. It's a little bit Care Bearish lectury. It's just because I want you all to be safe. So, yeah. Okay. COVID-19 and Washington State. Let's have a look at that. There's the main person again. And this one is facing the cards, okay? A good, receiving a gift, that's good news. A good gentleman. So the first one, we've got the main person again. Again, this a sort of autonomous person, sitting pretty. Good news for them. 17, receiving a gift is good news. Okay. Now, the card, everything that's being put down here is still in front of Washington State. This is Washington State. So everything we're seeing is still in front of them. Okay? So for the Texas one, she was here at the end, and this was coming out of the end of it. This is Washington State still seems to have a lot of stuff ahead of them with it. Okay, now the good receiving a gift. Things are moving in your favor. Okay, things are moving in your favor. Whatever you set out to do now will come to fruition. Okay, so things are moving in favour for the state. Things are moving along for them. A good gentleman, this good gentleman card is the third one. This is the good gentleman. As I said, I'm using the book because I'm just learning these. So, and if you are hearing my reading the book and you have a different interpretation, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you think, oh, I see it a little bit differently. The good gentleman, this is an important person card. Influence, this person has influence, is older, very mature. Best interest at heart. College boss. He has a lot of power and strength, which is symbolised by the lion at his side. But he does not abuse this power. He only becomes the fighting lion in order to help you if others attack you. Okay, so this is a person. I have an idea this may be the top health official in Washington State. I think he's doing everything he can, I think. There's a lot of stories. I mean, I haven't really read too much, but they are getting hard hit. But people are turning to him. This person, this lady, she's facing him and he's facing her. People are turning to him. They've had some good progress being made and they're looking to him for reassurance that it's going to keep happening. Power and strength. They're fighting to help the people of their state. This could even be the governor. The rich girl, it's a good card. It's a good news card. We've got meetings again. Meetings, talking together. It's also a good card. Along with living room. Okay, living room is the card. Remember, I was saying there was a card that represents 24 hours to 24 months. This is it. Again, it's like I'd say 24 days to 24 weeks. Within that time frame. Keep home as much as you can. Meetings. People are meeting, getting together. The rich girl is a good card as well. It's a card of good fortune. But also, as they're saying quite sensibly, avoid large gatherings. But the rich girl, very positive card that tells you succeed. Okay? Everything, it represents everything, portrays a time in which everything is working out and in which the joy of place. The joy of life plays the main. So, again, and we've got the meetings card. See, Washington State has been hit hard. It's going through a tough time. But there's some good news coming ahead for them. Someone is really, really fighting for them. If anyone knows, whether that's the governor or the main health official, they're succeeding. in whatever they're trying to do to help the community with this. It's working. The community might not necessarily feel that, but it is. They're talking to people and everything, and talking with the community. And again, this is a time frame. Again, there's not much movement forward with this, but I think Washington State was one of the first ones hit in the US, so it's still within the time frame. So let's have a look. How hard will Washington State be? Will they be hit really with high losses? Now, I read on Oregon before, and it was like, yeah, I don't think very many states are going to not to miss out on it. Maybe some of the lesser populated states, but the tower. To me, the first thing that popped in my head was with Washington State. This is a tipping point. Things are coming to a tipping point for them. Yeah, maybe a tipping point into the worst period of this for them. But they've got a lot of good positive cards and the strength. And hope the deck's upside down. But this is a tipping point for them. The tower. It caused some changes. I think maybe that it's going to cause some changes to the way they handle public health in the future. But they're going into a hopeful time. Got a lot of hope. And the King of Cups, emotional stability. What's going on with these cards? Are they a bit? No, I'm just turning it up all the wrong way around. I saw this King of Cups card, someone retaining emotional stability, and I immediately linked it in my mind with this card. I think they've got a really strong leader there, either in the head of public health or the governor, or maybe even both. But I do think it's probably one person. So, yeah, look. I think this coronavirus, it acted as a tipping point, as a notice the change is needed in the way that things are handled, maybe, and with the slow response and the ridiculous response of the US federal government. Catalyst for change. That's what I was looking for. It's acting at least in Washington State and probably elsewhere, I think eventually as a catalyst for change and the way certain things are handled. Things are looking hopeful for them. And they are really going to be looking to someone for some emotional stability, and I think they have that person there. It could even be like their senators or their congressmen or the governors or the state people. They've still got a bit ahead of them, okay? They've still got a lot of stuff ahead of them, but it's all going to turn out okay, okay? Yeah. So, I'm not going to pretend that people aren't going to be killed by this thing. People have been killed here by it. But it's going to be okay, and they are going to get the upper hand over it. Not necessarily with vaccines or anything, but just with the time frame. and all that. It's, yeah, it is going to be okay. People are working on it, and you know, it's going to be good news. People are going to be able to start getting out in public again and meeting again. Probably, you know, within 6 months, you know, everything's going to have settled down again for the state. It might take that state a little bit longer because it's been so hard hit. Okay, so anyway, that is my reading for Texas and Washington State for COVID-19. If you want me to read on your state, I'm very happy to. Just let me know. Put it in the comments and I'll get onto it as soon as possible. Love you all, footprinters, and I'll see you at the next reading.